live! Hello, everybody. It's Matt from RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Thank you for joining me here on YouTube. Be sure to check out RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com for everything Royal Caribbean related. RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Happy Monday, everybody. I'm just checking my settings. We're good. Every Monday, we are live right here on YouTube to talk some Royal Caribbean with all of you. So thank you for joining us here. And if when we're not live, we're over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Chance Carroll is here. Hello, Chance. Sophie Burns. Hello. GOAT is here. Javon is here. Hello, Javon. Preston, hello. Benjamin Cohn, hello. Michael Pastore, how's it going? Welcome. I see Cheryl is here. Joe Johnson. Terry Gillette. Monday already, right? Erica Mitchell, Kim Oakland. To everybody celebrating Happy Labor Day. Yeah, Labor Day weekend here in the United States. I hope you got a 3-day weekend out of this. Maybe an opportunity to relax, spend some time with family. Hopefully just simply not going to work. I know that's not always in the cards for everybody, but Happy Labor Day weekend, everybody. And we've got Charles O'Connor. Good evening. Denise is here. Preston, how's my Labor Day been? It has been fantastic, my friend. Great Labor Day. We didn't do anything crazy or fun. We were just sitting around the house. But you know what? The week is off to a good start. Michael S. is here. Must be a Monday, right? That's right. YouTube Live. Monday. Monday show. GOAT went boating this weekend. Nice. Jonesy is here. Hope today has been a good day, brother. It is a great day. Hope you are having an equally good day as well. Gavin is supposed to be in Alaska on a cruise a week ago. Yeah, actually, today, I should be depressed because we would have been getting off, I believe, Mariner of the Seas today. I had a Labor Day weekend cruise booked on Mariner, and I obviously that didn't happen, but it is what it is, right? So anyway, just wanted to say hello to everybody. Chip Gaines is here. Good evening from Wedgefield. Finally some rain. I hope you're getting some much needed rain. Tony Diaz. Hello, Tony. How are you? Welcome. Mike Pastore went to Club Med, not a cruise, but it did the job. Listen, something to do, right? So Tim Gallagher's got our first question today. When is the next CDC announcement? No idea, my friend. The CDC doesn't really have a schedule of when to expect things. The only thing we really know, Tim, is that September 21st is the deadline to submit those comments from the public about how we think the CDC should operate in terms of cruises restarting. But beyond that, Tim, there's no other really dates there. Cheryl says, at Mendenhall Glacier, if I get a taxi or a shuttle bus from the pier to the glacier, will it be easy to get a taxi or a shuttle back to the port? Yes, Cheryl. There's usually a lot of taxis just kind of coming and going, as you may believe. In addition, Cheryl, don't forget, I believe you're a U.S. resident, Cheryl. Your cell phone will work there. So you can always, whoever drops you off, you can always give them a call to come pick you up as well. But generally speaking, yeah, it's not a problem. It's a big parking lot. A lot of taxis come and go. So I don't think you'll have any kind of issues right there. So, Stewart Barnwell is here. We're live! Hello from the UK. Welcome. Randy Jackson, does the CDC have Royal Caribbean and NCL submissions yet? No. Royal Caribbean, I can't speak for NCL, Randy, but Royal Caribbean's Healthy Sail Panel has delayed their recommendations until after the CDC gets their finishes that public comment period. I reported on this last week that Royal Caribbean decided they're going to wait a little bit longer and wait for the CDC to finish there. So when the fallout of that, or whatever comes out of that, the Healthy Sail Panel can then implement that as part of their policy. Does that make sense? So they don't want to put out recommendations, then the CDC, comes out with something else, they have to go back to the drawing board, right? So measure twice, cut once kind of situation. Michael asks, do you think the CDC will take into consideration successful cruises in Europe? That's a great question, Michael. It certainly doesn't hurt them. I feel like it's one of those, I hate to say it's that double standard, but, if things are going bad, I'm sure there'd be Exhibit A, but it's simply not going to work against them, is the best I could describe it. I don't know for a fact. I'm not sure what the cruise lines will use that, how much they'll lean on that, because, of course, you know this, Michael, a lot can change between now and then, so who knows. But at the very least, it won't hurt them. So, Don Goldstein is here. Judy says all her Bonine is expiring. Anyone need it? Don just peddling to-be expired drugs here on my YouTube channel. Carlos, have you heard the rumors that there will be no cruise in 2020 and 2021? We'll start off with empty cruises for the first couple of months. No, I don't really peddle much in in rumors. The rumor mill is notorious for just a lot of crazy stuff out there, my friend. But no, I don't have any. I've not heard one way or another. John Cubero booked a cruise with kids sail free and wondering about lift and shift. Can we still do it if the child ages out of the special on the new date? Yes, you can. That's a little bit of a loophole. Yes, absolutely, you can. Have that confirmed from Royal Caribbean. Preston, I got an amazing deal on a cruise that hopefully will happen in February in Oasis. Nice! Am I excited for football on Thursday? Heck no, I hate football. I don't hate football, I just don't like footballs. Baseball is the greatest sport ever, period. That's it. Robert Jaworski, seems the CDC hasn't really done anything to help get cruising back. Well, the CDC is, to be as fair or as unbiased as I can, I would simply say this: the CDC's job is not to get cruising in or going or stopping. It is simply an agency that's doing its job in the same way, that most federal agencies are supposed to simply, enforce the rules that they're tasked with doing, right? Now, all right, do I think there's been a double standard with the CDC? How they treated the cruise line versus other aspects of travel? Yes. But that's a different story for a different day. But I kind of feel like, you're right, they haven't done anything, but that's not really their purview either. I think the worst you could probably say about them is that maybe they've dragged their feet on some things. There were some comments from Norwegian Cruise Line, this is going back now 2 or 3 months, I'm guessing, early part of the summer, where Norwegian kind of alluded to the fact that they hadn't heard anything from the CDC about cruises restarting. But on situations like this, guys, when you're dealing with a company, private, or not private, but you're dealing with a company and you're dealing with the government agency, these things, the conversations are not going to be made public. We're only going to get little tidbits, little pieces of the story, so it's really hard to know exactly what's happening, who's to blame, and so forth. But I'm not, like I said, I think there's been a double standard, but I don't know the nature of some of these conversations, things that have happened over the last, 3 months or so, in terms of where the blame may lay, if you will. So that's a very, I'm not sure how much I answered your question there, Robert, but yeah. Stuart, I'm sorry, but I've just seen your Royal Caribbean Monopoly. Where'd you get it from? So the Royal Caribbean Monopoly was a gift given to travel agents on Independence of the Seas a couple of years ago, 2018, I believe. It's not available to guess. You have to buy it on eBay, basically. Some travel agent sells it on eBay, and it magically shows up. Captain Mike 5, how long will it take to get a crew back on the cruise ship? A month or two? I have no idea, Mike. I don't think anyone who's posting on here in our chat, we don't know. I can tell you that it's much easier to get people to come back than to repatriate them. There's a lot less regulation there, but I can't speak for that. Keep in mind, by the way, that the amount of time to get people back, I mean, they're not gonna get back on one day. All of a sudden, all 26 Royal Caribbean international ships are going to have crew on board. It's going to be a slow ramp up right there. So, Gary Miola Jr., I agree with Matt on 2 things. Baseball is the best sport and Kraken is the best rum. See, Gary, that's why you and I are friends, man. You get it, right? Joey, what are the limits on how many pumpkins we can bring on board? That's a great question. I have no idea if there's any regulations on that, Joey. No idea, my friend. That's an excellent question. I have no idea. Stanley, joining us from Labadee. Hello, welcome. Good to see you here, man. Michael H., do you believe that Alaska cruises will sail in summer 21? Honestly, Michael, I wish I had an inkling, like an idea of like what to expect one way or another, but I really don't know, my friend. There's not enough information out there. I mean, the heart of the future of the Canadian of the Alaska cruise season is Canada, right? And what they're going to do with that. I mean, on the one hand, the Alaska cruise season, which we're talking about May, is pretty far away from now. I mean, there's a lot of time between now and then. But of course, you guys know that sometimes things move out about 3 months or so at a time. So it'll probably have been answered at some point, but I really don't know. I don't think that there is any answer right now. I think everybody, including the Canadian government, is just simply waiting and seeing where we'll be come the new year, come a bunch of other variables and possibilities that may or may not occur, So I could see it happening, and I could not see it happening. So that's not a very good answer, but the truth is no one knows. Randy Patrick with our first super chat of the day, and it's an epic super chat. Woo! Time for my weekly check-in for 38 days of the 2021 Harmony Group Cruise. Yes, sir. Keep us motivated, sir, and thank you. Randy, thank you for your generosity yet again, Randy. You are amazing. Thank you, sir, for your generosity. And my goodness, 438 days, little Harmony group cruise. You know what's funny, Randy, about that group cruise? My wife came into my office yesterday. She's like, did you know that we're going to Antigua on that group cruise? As a matter of fact, I did. Yeah, kind of a neat itinerary too, right? Love it. Gavin Needham, do you think any of the big operators in the U.S. will start cruises even with the CDC no sale? Well, they can't. Oh, do you mean like outside the U.S., Gavin? Well, you said like outside the U.S.? Yeah, of course. I mean, Carnival already has. I mean, not Carnival Cruise Line per se, but Costa Cruises, which is a subsidiary of the Carnival Corporation, did resume cruises yesterday. One of their Costa ships began. So the answer to your question is yes. Michael asks, why do you think MSC and Carnival did not join the Healthy Sail panel? You know what? Listen, I'm not sure, honestly. The answer is I don't know. I asked Royal Caribbean along the lines, sort of that question, Michael. When the Healthy Sail panel was announced, there was a media conference call, and I just asked, notice obviously you're working with Norwegian, why didn't, I chose Carnival in this case. I was like, why didn't you choose to work with Carnival or whatnot? And, not all cruise lines are looking to work together or on the same pace. They have different agendas. They have different goals, different timelines of things that are going there. So I believe on a very basic answer, Michael, that I simply think that these other companies weren't looking. Royal Caribbean did not set out on day one to work with other cruise lines. It just happened with Norwegian because Royal Caribbean and Norwegian were both talking to the same people, like to the same, the people that ended up being the Healthy Sail panel co-chairs. And so that became a natural fit in that regard. You can also make the argument, the old saying, too many chefs in the kitchen kind of a problem. Perhaps that could be the case as well. I mean, we may never know the answer as to why MSC or Carnival weren't part of that, Michael, but I can tell you that at least with Norwegian or Royal Caribbean, it wasn't that Norwegian or Royal Caribbean, started out on day one and like, hey, let's work together. It really was, I think, more happenstance. Like, they were just happened to be kind of... It's almost like if this were a sitcom, they would have backed into each other accidentally and then be like, oh my goodness, you're here? And like, you know what I mean? And like, hilarity ensues, commercial break. Like, that's kind of how I got it. We have another super chat coming in, guys. Chip Gaines, it's an epic one. Woo! Thank you, Chip Gaines, for the epic super chat. Another epic super chat. Holy moly! Kim Oakland, 312 days till Norway on Anthem of the Seas. Kim, thank you. Chip, thank you. And let's go back. Kim, I'm going to go to your comment in a second because I saw Chip posted his comment after the super chat, but he wrote here, doing a back-to-back Alaska cruise out of Seattle in May. Looks like there's plenty to do in Juneau. How about some days for Icy Strait Point and Victoria? Well, Icy Strait Point, Chip, you don't do anything. The ship goes through the Icy Strait Point. You don't get off the ship. So your plan should be wake up super early and watch. The ship will go into the area. It will do a 360. You get to see all the... Yeah, you're just on the ship going like this. Like you're just watching, dude. Nothing to do there. In Victoria, we went to the gardens. The Bootshark Gardens is beautiful. We went there. If you were to go there, I would recommend taking the earliest possible tour to get there. It's a lot less busy in the morning than it is as the day goes on. I would recommend that. That's a great idea as well. If you're looking to say, man, look, I'm spending a lot of money already. I need to go on the cheap here in Victoria. Just simply walk off the ship and walk downtown. It's great for bar hopping. There's some great history there. Lots of restaurants and shopping. Victoria is kind of like, go with me on this example, on this comparison here, guys. It's kind of like Cozumel in the sense that they have a nice downtown area you can walk to. It's pretty easy to get to. So that's what I would recommend, Chip. And thank you, Chip, for your generosity. And Kim Oakland, 312 days to Norway on Anthem. We were just talking about that trip, Kim, and thinking about, I think after New Year's, Kim, I'm going to start planning that, like, in earnest, like, buying airfare and doing all those kinds of things. So, yeah. Nicholas, so I think the CDC will extend the no-sale order. I could see it happening. I could see it happening, but I have really no earthly idea, Nick, what could possibly happen there. I mean, look, here in the U.S., a lot of life is starting to come back. A lot of things are starting to be like, well... I think a lot of Americans have simply just said we're just going to deal with this as going forward. I don't. There's so many other aspects of life that have reopened or are going to reopen that it just seems odd that they would extend it. But I was surprised they extended it last time, Nick. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm not the world's greatest barometer on what to expect. Suzanne Turner, would you still cruise if you had to get tested for COVID? Heck yeah, I would. I'll do whatever I need to do to get on board that. Kathy Constantine is here. Hello, Kathy. How are you? Welcome. Carlos, I always cruise out of Fort Lauderdale. Is there any advantage cruising out of Miami versus Fort Lauderdale? Obviously, the ships that go, there are some ships that only go to Miami versus Fort Lauderdale. Terminal A in Miami is absolutely beautiful. And I would also add the sail away from Miami is better than Fort Lauderdale. Like, it's more scenic. That's all. It's an absolutely stunning sail away in Miami, Carlos. So, I wouldn't look at it like in terms of anything else beyond that. It's just details. I don't know there's a definite advantage or disadvantage. I think the sail away and the cruise terminal in Miami are better than Fort Lauderdale, but those are very, very minor considerations, you know? I would say number one, if you get on a ship that doesn't go to Fort Lauderdale, like Oasis class ships go out of Miami now primarily. So Symphony of the Seas, you're going to go out of there. Something like that would be more important. But I would say ultimately the port is irrelevant. It's more about the ship and the itinerary. So, Cindy, will our cabins be turned down and cleaned every day? Yes, absolutely. That's been the thing with Royal Caribbean since the get-go. Absolutely. Stan, would you take a cruise to nowhere with only 7 days to see like what is happening in Germany? I would, Stan. However, that actually is illegal in the United States. Royal Caribbean, no cruise line that sails out of the U.S. can actually offer that, Stan. There is something called the Passenger Vessel Service Act, which you may have heard is referred to colloquially as the Jones Act. But basically, there's maritime law on the U.S. books that basically says, long story short, if a ship sails from a U.S. port and returns to a U.S. port, it must stop somewhere outside the United States during that sailing. So, unfortunately, Stan, while I would love to go on that idea, it's illegal. Now, there could be, to your point, Stan, the cruise lines could ask for a respite, a pausing of that law, an exemption. That has been known to happen, but they didn't get that during the whole for other things like during when Alaska and some other things. I just don't see that happening. But again, it's a neat idea. It definitely, obviously, what is working in Italy and Germany and other European ports is obviously the severe limiting of basically putting guests out there to possibly contract the virus outside of the cruise ship. So, Marley, what order do you think the U.S. ports will open? I don't know that it'll be. Well, I guess there is some. That's a good question. I know you're asking like states, like Port Bayonne versus Florida. I have no idea, man. That's a good question, Marley. But I'm not sure on that one. Lori, with all the cruises you've been on, are there any ports right now that you have a difficult time booking excursions? Like they're getting boring for you wish they would upgrade? Oh, Falmouth is still a struggle, Lori. That one is just because there's not a lot of stuff very close to the port. It requires a pretty long bus ride out there, like 45 minutes to an hour. But I still haven't found anything I absolutely love in Falmouth. So that's probably the one that I'm still trying to find something really great to do there. Peter Valdez, has the panel released any info yet? Have you taken binoculars to look at islands near the open water views? The panel, Healthy Sail panel, is not released it, Peter. Last week, I reported at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com that actually Royal Caribbean said they're going to need more time for the Healthy Sail panel. They're going to wait until at least the end of September to get some more information out there. More details at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. And I did take binoculars to Alaska. That's like one of the things that people say you should absolutely bring with you for that exact purpose, because there's so much wildlife, things you can see from the ship. I didn't really use it all that much. My wife liked it. I don't know that I would recommend spending hundreds of dollars on a nice pair of binoculars, but if you got a friend, if you have a Don Goldstein in your life, you can say, Don, can I borrow your awesome Coast Guard authentic binoculars? And he says yes. You can borrow from a friend, sure. Why not? So, hey, Jason Peterson, happy Labor Day to you. Michael, I think the PVSA allows for cruises to nowhere. The issue is the visas for the cruise. Nope. It definitely says in the PVSA it's illegal. They have to go to what's the word exactly? The phrasing, Don Goldstein is furiously typing right now. It's like a remote port, but you can't do cruises to nowhere. So, Brent Ferguson here with baby Olivia. Congratulations, Mazel Tov, Brent. And now non-baby Emma, just Emma in the house. Hello, Brent and Emma. Welcome. John Cubero, what class ship do you think will sail first? If I had to guess, John, and I am guessing, so I want to emphasize, I do not know. I'm simply guessing. My guess would be the Voyager class, specifically Mariner and Navigator of the Seas. That would be the safe bet. If Las Vegas were putting odds, or giving odds on what ship will sail first, it'd be like even money, if not whatever the opposite of even money is, like where you have to pay more in order to win. They're the heads-on favorite for that to start up again. Glamp, we can't cruise from Seattle to Alaska without stopping in Canada. Correct. Yes. Creek Bottom, we're beach bums and enjoy the beach clubs at the port. Seems to be hard to find a good beach club to hang out at Belize. Yeah, Belize is a tough one as well. We did an excursion to Goff's Key, which I think changed names recently. Not recently, as in like... Hang on, let me get you the name of it. It's a private... It's just... Yeah, it's Goff's Key. I don't know if they changed the name of the excursion. But basically, you take this boat off to this little small island off the coast, and it's this little small, very, very small island. There's beach, there's snorkeling, there's food there. That's okay, but if you're like, but if you're looking for Creek Bottom, if you're looking for like beach clubs, like, you know, Garcon, I'll have another drink right now. Yeah, that one I can't recommend, unfortunately. I'm not aware of any that may fit that need right there. Let's see here. Terry, an operational stop can be done without actually stopping at the port. We did a cruise out of LA, then went to Santa Barbara, San Diego, and San Francisco during swine flu operational stop off Cabo. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, listen, I can only tell you guys, are there workarounds to these laws? Yeah, but there's also a reason why none of the cruise lines have offered cruises to nowhere in the United States, guys. They're not dumb. They're not, I'm sure they would love to offer cruises to nowhere where they can then maximize their onboard revenue, but there's a reason why they do what they do. It's there's a reason for that. Kathy, booked on Quantum to Alaska, September 21. Nice. I noticed the signage in Asian subtitles, which is cool, but do you know if there are any plans to Americanize the ship? Kathy, great question. So, the answer is we don't know. However, when Ovation of the Seas, another Quantum class ship, started out in Asia and then came over to the US, they absolutely Americanized the ship, Kathy. And if it wasn't for COVID-19, Kathy, I would tell you, absolutely, they'll definitely do that. They'll Americanize, they'll de-Asiafy it, however you want to look at it. The problem is, they really don't have any money right now. So I'm not sure how that'll work. But Kathy, I would be very surprised if they bring the ship over to do Alaska sailings and it's not, you know, Americanized, because it just wouldn't jive very well, you know? Hunt Lewis is here. Hunt, how are you, man? We have to catch up, my friend. We got to find out. We got to do some west side of Orlando meetups, beers, and whatnot, man. It's been too long. Terry Butler wants my thoughts on if cruising will happen in January 21. Terry, my friend, the answer, my friend, is blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind. How many cruises must be canceled before we can go out to sea? The answer is we don't know. I just sang there because some of you get triggered when I sing. The answer, if you go to willmycruisehappen.com, we actually have a blog post. It brings you right to a Royal Caribbean blog post that I wrote about why we just don't know the answer to that question. So, it's not the answer you're looking for, but let's see here. Tim Gallagher, best resort for a day in Nassau. There's not many that are there, Tim. Nassau's kind of a weird one. I have not been to one. I would say if money's not an issue, I mean, Atlanta. Oh, actually, I take that back. Oh my goodness, I completely forgot, Tim. The best one is the British Colonial Hilton. I have a review of it at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Definitely the way to go. Ashley DeSuter, booked on Ovation of the Seas, Alaska next August. Has your family tried Gold Creek Salmon Bake? They have not. I will tell you, I have heard mixed reviews of the salmon bakes, Gold Rush kind of things. If you're looking for good good Alaskan salmon, there's plenty of it in all the ports. You go downtown, they're all over the place there. I personally, I wouldn't book that. I just heard too many mixed reviews, and it's I'd rather do something else there. But I've not done that exact excursion, so of course your mileage may vary. So, Carlos, Tony loves your singing. Absolutely. Tony, you're doing so good till now. Nick, my cruise in March got canceled, got 125%. Rebooked for October. It got canceled again. Will I get 125% again? And what will happen to the balance? Okay, so Nick, cruise number 2, let's restart. You had a cruise booked. It got canceled in March. You got 125% future cruise credit. You took that credit, applied it for a cruise in October. That got canceled. Okay. Well, here's what happens. The original Future Cruise credit from March gets reissued. Any money you paid on top of that, Nick, if you paid another $100 or $500, that you get as a new Future Cruise credit for 125%. But the original 125% doesn't get re-125'd up, if that makes sense. Now, one thing you should do, Nick, is if you do have 2 FCCs as a result now of this October cancel cruise, is ask Royal Caribbean at that point to actually combine the FCCs. So you only have one to deal with. It'll be a lot cleaner for you. Marley, any news on the Galveston port? Yeah, I posted actually news last week about the Galveston port. There was a meeting of the Port of Galveston, and basically Royal Caribbean told the port director said, so this is the port director's words now, that Royal Caribbean told him that they are definitely committed to starting construction on the port in April. So that's the news I guess we have till now. Tanya, are the rooms on Adventure of the Seas outdated? No. I mean, I always hate when people say, oh, I was just on blah, blah, blah of the seas, or this ship, or that ship, and so outdated, could really use a refurb. Okay, first of all, this isn't the W. Second of all, I don't think that it really is outdated. I think they're fine. They're just rooms. They're perfectly fine. I don't think it's an issue right there. Kool-Aid. I don't read every single question, Kool-Aid. I read questions as I get there. So my advice and this is for anybody, guys, type your question. Give me a minute to answer it. If I don't answer it, feel free to retype it. Don't type it like 3 times in a row. Just, I get to as many questions as I can, but it is impossible for me to answer absolutely every single question here in the time we've allocated. But yeah, not to worry. Nathan Ludwig is here. Hello, Nathan. Officially booked Oasis of the Seas Bayonne 21. Do you think Bayonne cruises are good, especially for a ship that's never been there before? Yeah, absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Yes, yes, yes. I think it's definitely worth doing it. Brad, Matt likes it when you ask your questions over and over again in caps. Oh, please don't be that guy. I'm happy to answer as many questions as I can, but don't do that. That's the guaranteed way I will not answer your question. Mrs. Thomas is here. How are you, Mrs. Thomas? What's the best place to eat with kids in Nassau that won't break the bank? All right, where would I take my kids? Because my kids are picky, and I ain't spending a lot of money on them. That's a really good question. I mean, there are restaurants all up and down the main street over there in Nassau. They're kind of pricey. There's a couple of good Greek places that I went to, and they're fine. None of them are really that special. I would tell you that Senor Frogs is going to cost you a lot of money. I would not recommend. That's going to break the bank. That ain't a cheap eats right there. The problem is, I think you're kind of hard pressed, other than street food, to find something like great value. I think actually, believe it or not, Mrs. Thomas, I think they have food, light food. Oh, you know what? What is it? Sharky's? Is that the place? I might recommend that place. One of my good friends, the Cruise Life Matt, brought me there, and Sharky's Tiki Bar. It's SHARKEEZ. It's right on the wharf. It's touristy, but it's fine. I think it's reasonable. I think that would probably be your best choice. Chip Gaines, where to stay in Seattle flying in the day before the cruise? Anywhere near the Space Needle is probably fine. That'll put you right downtown. You can walk to everywhere. I stayed at the Holiday Inn Express I think it's in Queen Anne's district. It's right by, you can walk to the Space Needle from there, Chip. That was fantastic. I would recommend that place. Kool-Aid, do you know when and where Wonder of the Seas will launch? Wonder of the Seas, well, she'll leave, obviously, the Saint-Nazaire shipyard over at Chantier de l'Atlantique. So I don't know when they're going to leave. They haven't said that. But she'll begin service sometime in 2022, and she'll sail from Shanghai. Beyond that, we really don't have any other information. Gene wants to know, what's my personal choice, Odyssey or Oasis? No one's been on Odyssey, and I've been on Oasis, Gene, so I would pick Odyssey because I haven't been on Odyssey, but that's kind of it's a misleading answer for you because I've already been on one. I can't answer that because I haven't been on Odyssey yet, but either one sounds like a great choice. I love Oasis, no question about that. NBA South Lake Sign, how will cruising be different now in comparison to before the pandemic? Royal Caribbean has not announced what those changes will be yet. We know some of the changes, but not all of them. Some of the changes you can expect, there'll be a temperature check, there'll be some sort of testing component. Royal Caribbean has confirmed that. Obviously, how you dine, like the buffet, will change a little bit. We don't know what exactly it'll change, but something will change about it. There will be enhanced sanitation on board the ship, in the terminal. It looks like, based on the new blog post I have at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com today, that there very well could be some extended check-in times to basically stretch things out so there's less people in the terminal. But honestly, NBA Celtics and I, we're waiting for Royal Caribbean to give us the full set of what that is. They have not announced it yet. So, Patricia, what's the biggest ship in the world? Right now, it's Symphony of the Seas. Eventually, Wonder of the Seas, which is under construction, will become the biggest ship in the world. Katie, should I cancel my cruise on December 26th? Honestly, Katie, I would tell you this. If you can, don't cancel. Wait for Royal to cancel on you. You get much better terms, much better deal if Royal cancels on you. So I would hold out. If it were me, and I've done this before many, many times, hold out, let them cancel on you. What Royal Caribbean ships have gone to the scrapyard? Marley wants to know. None. 2 former Royal Caribbean ships did go to the scrapyard. Monarch and Sovereign of the Seas, but they were not part of the Royal Caribbean fleet anymore, so I don't know if that really counts. Captain's Table of Main Dining Room, happy Labor Day, my friend. Any thoughts on why now for Royal Caribbean to change their name to Royal Caribbean Group? Yeah, they said during the thing, basically they thought it was just more appropriate. I don't know. You know, just kind of moving with the times. I'm not sure why they picked. It's something they've been doing, kind of thinking about. And actually, the Royal Caribbean Group transition had been happening for a couple months, just more like on the... They kind of subtly did it. Now they made it obviously more official. But of course, that's the parent company, don't forget, right? They're still Royal Caribbean International. That's the cruise line that we're talking about today. But the parent company went from Royal Caribbean Cruises Limited to Royal Caribbean Group. It's, you know... It's like the name. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. It's like somebody. It's like the person who signs your paycheck changed their name. Doesn't matter. T-Mail, have you watched any of the movies filmed on Royal Caribbean? I have not, actually. I gotta do that. I haven't, my friend. Jeff, what's the best Amtrak station to get off at if you sail at Port Canaveral? Ooh, the one in downtown Orlando is probably your best bet. Then you're at least downtown. You can take a Lyft or an Uber or something over to the Port Canaveral. I mean, you can get off a little bit earlier if it stops in like Winter Park or Sanford. Those are fine as well. I know the auto train stops in Sanford. That's fine. There's no real difference. You know what I mean? So it's a good question, Jeff. I don't think I've ever gotten that question before. Hunt is here. I think I'm going to love the new Aqua Theater area on Wonder of the Seas. It looks like a cool show element. I agree, Hunt. I think it looks really nice. I think it's something different. Like something... I like a little bit of change, you know? Not a lot, but a little bit of change. And I agree, Hunt. I think it looks really cool. Some people are like, I just love the people who are hating on it, not because, you know, the change, because they're like, oh, it's too kid looking. It's too, you know, looks like something out of, I don't know, whatever. It's like, well, first of all, have you been on a Royal Caribbean ship before? There's a lot of families on there. And it wasn't like this was the Titanic or Lusitania where everyone's wearing black ties and, you know, you had sleek lines on here. I mean, you had a giant purple slide on the back of ships for crying out loud, and flow riders, and, you know, like, it's fine. I like change. So, Nicholas, I'm not sure I understand your question about Wonder of the Seas. Katie, what will be the changes to Coco Key? We don't know yet. That's a good question. Don't know the answer to that one yet. Royal Caribbean hasn't said. So, Carlos, have you ever cruised Hawaii, or if not, have you considered? I have not. My parents did. They did a cruise, that repositioning cruise between, I believe, Seattle and Sydney, and it had a couple stops in Hawaii. They loved it. I would love to. I just don't have any time for it. You know what I mean? Mrs. Thomas, have a good night. Thanks for joining us here. Happy Labor Day to you. Jacob, we'll be cruising out of Fort Lauderdale in 21. How much different is the terminal compared to Galveston? Oh, way better, Jacob. Oh, my goodness. You're going to think it's the greatest place on earth because it's a lot more efficient. They move people through in and out a whole lot better. I think it's also a newer building. I think you'll find it all generally much simpler, easier, and a smoother experience, both on embarkation and disembarkation. Let's see here. Patricia wasn't. How many rooms are on Symphony of the Seas? I'm not sure, actually. It's a good question. I have no idea. Harmony of the Seas, Patricia. I still don't know the answer to that one. And Patricia's 9 years old. It's all, you have great spelling, actually. My daughter is 9 years old as well, and I think you have better spelling than she does. Joy Prowl is here. Hello, Joy. Daryl, I canceled my cruises a few weeks ago, but didn't get my future cruise credit. Well, there is a period, Daryl, depending on when you do. There's a processing period. It's not instant. But it will get to you, not to worry. James Galloway, James Italian or Wonderland on Harmony? Well, James, not just because your name is James, but I would pick James Italian. I like Wonderland, but like in terms of like repeat value, I just like the food better. I like Italian food, so I'd pick Jamie's Italian, but you know, that's just me. So yeah, Jacob, Galveston, I hate to say it. I feel like Galveston is probably don't take this the wrong way. The worst cruise terminal in the United States for that I've been on in Royal Caribbean. There's just a lot of like local issues there that stymie the flow. Now maybe the new cruise terminal that they're going to be building there, beginning in 2021, will be significantly better. I certainly hope so. But the current one, I went there in 2014. I did not love it. I was like, oy vey, so. Hello, Hisham. Hello, welcome. Guys, welcome. Thanks for joining us here on YouTube. Every Monday, I am live right here on YouTube, hanging out with you guys, talking Royal Caribbean. We have a couple more minutes here if you want to get in your questions. Maybe I missed your question earlier in the broadcast. Now is the perfect opportunity to sneak in your question, and I can answer it as best I can. My favorite YouTuber, my goodness. You mean someone not named Sherry from Cruise Tips TV? There's so many great people that are out there, especially in the cruise community, I mean, there's so many great people. You got Ben and David, you've got Sherry, obviously you got Emma. There's so many people that do it. I don't know that I have a favorite. I just like that everyone's got their own little take on it, We all have we're all talking about cruise lines and whatnot, but we're really not all doing it the same. And I think that's fantastic because for you guys and myself, I watch just maybe not as much as some of you guys do. Like Mike Pastore watches like everything. I don't know how he finds the time, but I love that everyone's got a little bit different take, a little bit different. Some people are really different take on it, which is fantastic. So, I'm your favorite YouTuber. Oh, well, thank you, Patricia. I appreciate that. You have excellent taste, Patricia. Forget what I said. Nobody compares to me. Gloria, best warm month to visit Alaska. I like June. July is probably your best bet there, I would say. Katie Fitzpatrick, which ship should I go on with 2 teenagers? Oh, no question. You want to go on Anthem of the Seas or any Quantum class ship. So whether that's Odyssey of the Seas or Anthem of the Seas, Quantum of the Seas, Ovation, you want a Quantum class ship. They have the Seaplex area, and it is absolutely fantastic for teens. Trust me, you will not regret it. Your teens will absolutely love it. It's a great choice for you. Chip Gaines, have a great evening. Happy Labor Day to you, Chip. Thanks again for your generosity, my friend. We have Fred from Brisbane, Australia. Good night, mate. Do you know Robert? I don't know where he is in Australia, but you guys are Australians. Figure you all know each other. So, yeah, Nathan, Oasis is great too for teens. Yeah, I mean, look, no family ever goes wrong with an Oasis class ship. But when it comes to teens, I just think the Quantum class has a little something more just for that group. And that's because the Seaplex is just it's like teen cruise heaven, So, yeah, definitely the way to go. I think Ian, does Royal Caribbean have its own terminal at Port Canaveral? What is the whole situation over there? Yeah, they have Terminal 1. It's brand new, very easy. It's really great, actually. There's a parking garage that's just for people in Terminal 1. You go in there. It is so easy. It's probably my second favorite cruise terminal right now in the U.S. behind Terminal A in Miami. But it's really easy, really nice. You'll absolutely love it. James, you're very welcome, my friend. Thank you for the kind words. Any thoughts on when 2022 deployment will be announced? No. My only thought is that based on historically what Royal Caribbean has done, it might come out maybe in November, because that's usually when it comes out. But with COVID, I mean, who knows what's happening, right? Did you see that Wonderland floated out this weekend? I did, because I reported on it at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. In fact, I have brand new photos of that at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, my friend. So yeah, check it out, dude. Lots of great photos over there for you to check out. And let's see here. Captain's Table Main Dining Room. When we return to cruising, what can we expect? Can we expect to see Shrek still on board? No. Royal Caribbean got rid of they ended their relationship with DreamWorks a couple of years ago, actually. So the answer is no, but Shrek wasn't even on board even when this all stopped. They got rid of that, what was it, 2018, 2019, something like that. So, do I know how expensive the parking is? I do not. It's a reasonable price. Park on site, Ian. I know where you're going with this. Hey, should I park off site? Save some money? No, I never park off site. Park on site. It's worth every penny. You will thank me later when you just simply walk out of that cruise terminal, back into your car, crying, of course, because your cruise is over, but you'll be there so much faster. I don't think the money you save by parking off-site outweighs the general inconvenience of doing so. Don, any thoughts on when 2022 will be announced on the schedule of the year? Wait, what? Anything else on 122? I think that's a joke. If it's not a joke, boy, that went over my head quickly. Let's see here. James, I love Terminal 1 at Port Canaveral. Yeah, dude, it's so easy. So easy. So, yeah, I think that's it. All right, guys, I think it's going to wrap things up here. Appreciate you guys joining me here on this live stream here on this Monday. Every Monday, we're live here on YouTube. When we're not live, we're over at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. Guys, there is a lot happening at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com. If you haven't seen it yet, some good stuff over there. As I mentioned, we have some photos to share of Wonder of the Seas being floated out this weekend. In addition, an interesting look at boarding times. Could that be changing? Don't know, but there's some good information at RoyalCaribbeanBlog.com, so check that out. Guys, hope you all have a great, well, there's not much of Labor Day weekend left, but happy Labor Day weekend. Enjoy. Have a safe week, everybody. Do something fun. Make sure you carve out a little bit of time for some safe fun out there. But we'll talk again very soon right here on YouTube. Bye, everybody.